pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone. Madam Clerk, if you call the roll, please.
Trustee Harn?
Present.
Trustee Gett?
Present.
Trustee Mariscal?
Present.
Trustee Mariscal?
Present.
Trustee Reichert?
Present.
Trustee Carter?
Present.
All right. Item 4 would be approval of the Board of Trustees meeting minutes for May 16, 2017. I'd ask for a motion to approve those.
So make a motion.
Motion by Trustee Gett.
Second.
Second by Trustee Reichert. Any questions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it. Okay, Madam Clerk, any correspondence?
Yes, we have one letter. It's written to Sarah, the administrative assistant, and it says, "Dear Sarah," this is from Luann Clauden, the WTVP auction director. It says, the 44th annual WTVP auction was a great success. Thanks to your generosity and support. On behalf of WTPV, its staff, volunteers, auction participants, and viewers, I want to express my deepest thank you for your donation to the auction. Without your support, there would be no public television in Central Illinois. In the spring of 2018, we'll be conducting our 45th annual auction and already making plans. We encourage you to consider donating to WTVP auction again this year, and you might even consider putting something aside now for the occasion. We certainly look forward to working with you again next year. The WTVP auction is a key fundraising event for the stations and generate money we need to pay for programming on all 3 of our channels. The dollars generated in part from your donation will go a long way in providing viewers with such quality and diverse programming as Masterpiece, Antique Roadshow, Great British Baking Show, Frontline Nature, Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, Nova, and Curious George, plus nationally produced documentaries from Ken Burns and American Masters, and our local documentaries like Nature Returns to Emiquon and Main Street Memories, Peoria in the 1950s. Thank you for your help in bringing these fabulous programs and series that will enhance and enrich the lives of our community. We appreciate your support and participation in this long-standing community event. WTVP could not do it without you. Thank you. Regards, Auction Director Luann Clauden. That's
All right, I would ask for a motion to receive and file the communications.
So moved.
Have a motion by, was that Trustee Carter? Or, okay,
Reichert.
Trustee Reichert, okay.
I'll second.
Any second? Second by Trustee Gett. Any comment on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. Now we're at the mayoral announcements. I'm going to take the privilege and head down to the floor for a moment. Welcome, everyone. It is a great privilege to be mayor of this community. It's even a greater privilege to have a community that has such fine schools, where we have a fantastic administration, great teachers, and even better students who are studying hard and who are representing our community in athletics. And if you haven't been in the loop in the last few days, our high school team won the state baseball tournament. So we weren't able to get that on our agenda because we have to comply with what's called the Open Meetings Act, and we didn't get that on the agenda, but we are happy to have you here tonight. So Mr. Heath and all of the players and coaches, would you come forward, please? School board members, I see school board members here. Anyone with the Heights High School, please come forward. Eric, Joe, Mike, Don, I see you back there. Eric, I want to get you up here. So again, welcome everyone. We are so very proud of you, and to bring this championship and this trophy home, it's been a fantastic celebration since Saturday. We're so very proud again of you and the hard work and of your coaches. So we have a proclamation for you tonight, and I hope that everyone is able to stay. And by the way, Trefskers donated baked goods, and Alwyn's donated drinks for tonight. We threw this party together quickly because we only had since Saturday, but we're going to do even more for you in the future. Whereas, alongside coaches and family members, the Peoria Heights Patriots baseball team made a huge commitment to becoming the best team possible. And whereas, the Peoria Heights Patriots baseball team celebrated their team's 6-2 win over Valmeyer during the IHSA Class 1A State Baseball Championship and won the school's first state title on Saturday, June 3rd, 2017. And whereas, the Board of Trustees would like to recognize these players and coaches, and whereas the Board of Trustees would like to recognize Athletic Director and Head Coach Matt King, Assistant Coaches Andrew Arthur, Josh Beanie, Lyle Begner, and John Lowry, Superintendent Eric Heath, Principal Joe Stoner, Athletic Director Kyle Gernhardt for their leadership and guidance. And whereas the Board of Trustees would like to recognize all the parents, families, sponsors, and volunteers who supported the team along the way. Now, therefore, the Board of Trustees of the Village of Peoria Heights would like to formally recognize the Peoria Heights Patriots as the 2017 IHSA Class 1A State Champions, and hereby proclaim June 3rd, 2017 as Peoria Heights Patriots Day. Congratulations, everyone. Eric, would you introduce?
I'm going to call up Matt King. He's going to come over and introduce all the players and coaches, and this is their day, and
Congratulations, Coach.
I'm going to let them enjoy it.
All right, I'll just say their names if you raise your hand. We have Trevor Heath, Noah Nelson, Peyton Marfell, Riley Miller, looks like Tyler Gregory, Blake Begner, Cole Williams, Jake Kennington, Trent Sherlock, Josh Beanie, Braden Lovin. Sorry, we go by nicknames, so sometimes it gets tough. We've got David Dellett, Ty Webb, and we have Jared Crew. We're missing Anthony Wittenberg and Colton Markley, who both got out of town quickly on vacation. We have assistant coach Josh Beanie, assistant coach Lyle Begner, assistant coach Andrew Arthur, assistant coach John Lowry is working, but we really appreciate everything. The community support was unbelievable. If you were down there, it was the biggest record, or it was a record-breaking crowd, the biggest crowd they've had in IHSA baseball history since it's been at Dozer Park. Our attendance at the finals was more tickets sold than they normally sell for the entire weekend. So it was quite an experience, and we're happy we could make you proud. Thank you.
Thank you guys for being here again. We're very proud of you. Keep up the good work.
Take some food.
Yeah, take those
cupcakes.
Take the food, guys.
Okay, we will be at item 7, trustees' reports. The first is economic and community development. Trustee Dan Mariscal.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. I have one item to report. This Saturday, June 10th, Duryea Days will be held from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Mayor Phelan.
All right. Any questions for Trustee Mariscal? Next would be police. Trustee Carter.
Thank you. I just have one item. The neighborhood watch, just so you mark your calendars for next month, is July 31st at 6:30.
Okay, thank you. Next, building and property maintenance. Trustee Gett.
Thank you, Mayor Phelan. I have nothing to report at this time.
Okay. Fire. Trustee Reichert.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing tonight.
All right. Public Works. Trustee Harn.
Thank you, Mayor Phelan. I have nothing right now.
Okay, and Administration and Personnel. Trustee Diane Mariscal.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to report.
All right. Then we would be at item 8, comments from the audience. Mr. Heath.
I have one comment real quick, sorry. I just wanted to thank again the village for allowing us the fire truck on Saturday. That was an exciting time for our kids getting to ride on that. So I just wanted to thank the village again for allowing us to do that on Saturday. It was great. Thank you.
Mrs. Sank. Shereen, if you give your name and address for the record, please.
I sure will. Good evening. Congratulations, guys. That's wonderful. What an accomplishment. Very proud. My name is Shereen Sank, and my husband and I have lived in Peoria Heights for 20 years at 1206 East Samuel Avenue. And I'm coming here tonight in regard to the article I read on Saturday about the proposed apartment building going up on Duryea. And one of the biggest concerns, actually two concerns, TIF district, another one we're either adding or expanding. But also, in 2008, I believe a survey was sent to the residents. And this was in regard to pros, cons, living in the village of Peoria Heights. In fact, I think it was number one, if I remember right, there is too much rental property. That was the number one concern of the residents. The number two was single-family housing. And Trustee Carter, I believe at your meet and greet, you mentioned that one of your main concerns was getting single-family housing in here, into Peoria Heights. An apartment complex to me is not single-family housing. It's zoned residential. However, to me, it's still rental property. It is a business. And especially being, I think it said two bedroom apartments are going to be on the four corners, if I remember right. And then the rest are going to be studios and one-bedroom apartments. How is that promoting families here in Peoria Heights? It's not. Families are not going to go to an apartment complex with one bedroom. Not even two, a lot of them. Traffic. I meet with you, Mayor, and Matt, on Thursday in regard to Pearl Insurance, all the traffic and that. Now that's, I realize, at a planning commission, later in the, but this is a big concern. They'll promise you everything, and we have so many things that have been promised where we're living right now. We still have a nice little neighborhood, but I'll give you an example. Pearl Insurance promised this beautiful landscaping when they put in that parking lot. Terrible-looking bushes, a dilapidated privacy fence on both sides that's falling down. I, as a homeowner, if that was me, I'd be fined. Same thing with Rogers Benefit Group in back of us. What's happened, I came to the planning that night. The proposal that this has been over 10 years ago. The planning that they had all drafted out did not pass. They went and put on a napkin a different plan. That passed that night. They were to have also beautiful landscaping and tear down the garage. Did it happen? No. Did not happen. TIF. We have War Memorial, homes destroyed, people displaced, and what is it? It's empty. Nothing's been developed on War Memorial in that TIF district. Heritage Square, they were going to develop upscale condos. It's empty. Same thing with the Cohen's building, empty. Williams Brothers, upscale condos, empty. Trefskers, the bakery I think is doing very well. The banquet hall, I don't know. I don't think it's taken off. So now we're proposing another TIF, which is going to take away from our schools, our library, our infrastructure for what, 20, 23 years? And I just don't think, in all honesty, any one of you on this board can sit there and say you would want it in your backyard. I don't want it in mine. I would much rather see single-family homes, even townhouses, duplexes, something that is not an eyesore. And I know the homes are older in this community. We have a 2-3 block area of businesses, wonderful restaurants. I eat at them a lot. Nice little shops, but we're not New York, we're not Boston. We are a middle-class community. And to say that it's upscale and like the warehouse district, which is empty, by the way, I believe, not very much, I don't think we can support that, and I don't want it. And especially the TIF. I think we've gone way overboard on TIF. And the original vision of Peoria Heights has always been to promote family growth. And I don't think it will happen with this. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Shereen, and I'm happy to discuss some of those items with you when we get together on Thursday. Okay. And if you would, or any of the neighbors have any concerns, I'm happy to arrange a meeting with the neighbors and Mr. Herman, who's here tonight. Thank you. Anyone else under public comment? Mr. Brown, you'd give your name, sir, and your address. Welcome.
Bruce Brown, 4315 Voss, Peoria Heights, paparazzi, for 34 years, July 5th. You know, I came tonight, and I really wasn't intending to speak, but more to listen. And I know the item that was just referred to, the TIF district, has not come up yet. I'm going to share a couple of thoughts. Some people may remember a couple of years ago, I came in here when the Trefskers project was being considered. And I mentioned at that time that there are a couple of big events that have occurred in Peoria Heights since we've been in business at Paparazzi since 1983. One of them was something called the Rock Island Trail, and the other one was called the Trefskers Project, where an 1894 building that's been sitting mostly vacant as a fire trap is now a $4 million business that's doing very well. And since I'm about 300 feet away from it, I can attest to you that the upstairs event center is doing even better. These things do not happen by mistake or by accident. And I spoke that night specifically about the TIF district. I'm a little bit familiar with them. I was on the Peoria City Council in 1978 when the state of Illinois established TIF districts. Kind of familiar with them since 1978. And the reason I spoke a couple years about the Trefskers project is because Peoria Heights, in the two TIF districts, was setting aside 25% of the TIF revenue to Peoria Heights schools. And I can tell you with some authority, since 1978 until this very minute, the city of Peoria has never set aside one dime towards its schools. And this is significant. I've been told, and it hasn't come up yet, that this item tonight for the apartments, instead of 25% for the schools, we'll give 100% for the schools. Let me tell you what that means. You know, TIF is kind of complicated. Tax increment financing, TIF. And the reason a lot of people have made a 3-letter word into a 4-letter word is because mostly all they know about it is what the city of Peoria has done. Clear a couple of blocks on Knoxville, build a strip mall, grocery store, put 2 other grocery stores out of business, including John B's right down the street. And then the grocery store in the strip mall closes down. 0 for 3 for grocery stores in the city of Peoria. So here's what happens with the TIF district. Say, as an example, and I need to emphasize example, say that the land where the apartments is going to be built today produces $1,000 in revenue for the village of Peoria Heights. And again, it's an example, just round numbers. And so the apartments are built. And let's say after the apartments are built, now that same land produces $21,000 a year. The TIF, the tax increment, is the difference between those two numbers. Previously 1,000, now 20,000. So what happens is the 20,000 is used for improvements to the project. Bonds are sold generally for the term of 23 years. So of that $20,000, and there are some school people here, you know that, the tax bill in Peoria Heights, 61% of it goes to the schools. So if you follow the city of Peoria plan for 23 years, Peoria Heights schools would get nothing except 61% of the $1,000. This plan that you have before you tonight is going to give you 61% of the $20,000. This has not been done that I'm aware anywhere in the state of Illinois, certainly not in the city of Peoria. And I came here tonight, again, not to speak, but to congratulate the leadership in this community. There's the word heights and there's the word heights. For reaching the heights. I want to repeat what I said 2 years ago. You can have all the development in the world, but if you don't have your schools, if you don't fund your schools, if you don't have an economic development policy that merges those together, then you're whistling past the graveyard. So Peoria Heights is on the cusp of a great thing here tonight. You're bringing it all together. It was said previously that Peoria Heights is landlocked. 3 sides, city of Peoria, the 4th side, the river. Peoria Heights can't keep annexing to make up for mistakes. What it has to do is pretty much get it right the first time. And I came here tonight to tell you that this old city councilman, 1973, 25 years old, second youngest in the history of the city of Peoria. I've seen a lot. 2 terms on the city council, I've had more smoke blown at me than a cigar store Indian. This is a big, significant deal for Peoria Heights tonight. Congratulations to those who put it together, and hopefully congratulations to you for supporting it. This is a community of development, a community of businesses, big and small, and I have a small one. It's a community of schools. And without the schools, you have no families, you have no people interested in moving here with a family. You're on the cusp of change. So that's my message here tonight. I hope you support it. It is a very, very significant moment here in the Village Hall of Peoria Heights for all of central Illinois, and I do not exaggerate, for the state of Illinois. This has not ever been done before. 100% of the TIF district to support your schools. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Brown. Anyone else? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Comments from the audience are closed. We'll move on to old business. Is there any old business come before the board? If not, we'll move on to new business. The first is approval of the Peoria Heights High School 2017-2018 Homecoming Parade on Saturday, September 23rd, 2017. Trustee Carter, may I have a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion for the Peoria Heights High School to have their annual homecoming parade for the 2017-18 school year. The date will be Saturday, September 23rd, 2017 at 10 a.m.
I have a motion by Trustee Carter. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion, second by Trustee Gett. Trustee Carter, anything else on this?
No, there'll be more as it gets closer.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Okay. Trustee Harn?
Aye.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Mariscal?
Aye.
Trustee Mariscal?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
And Trustee Carter?
Aye.
Okay, that motion passes. Next is ordinance 2017-1508, approval to change the structure and times of the village board meetings. Trustee Diane Mariscal, I'd entertain a motion to approve this. Do I have a motion?
Yes,
Do I
absolutely.
have a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Dan Mariscal. Okay, Diane, would you set this up, please?
Yeah, this would be to change meeting times from 6:30 to 6 o'clock, just a half an hour earlier. Our regular meetings would be the 3rd Tuesday of every month at 6 o'clock. The department meetings would be the 1st and 4th Tuesday at 6 o'clock. And then we also did discuss having special meetings that can be called either by Mayor Phelan or by 3 trustees at least 48 hours in advance.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Harn?
Aye.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Mariscal?
Aye.
Trustee Mariscal?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
And Trustee Carter?
Aye.
Thank you, and that motion passes. Next, Resolution 2017-06, an inducement resolution, proposed tax increment financing, TIF, district redevelopment project. Trustee Dan Mariscal, may I have a motion, sir?
Yes, Mayor Allen, I'd like to entertain a motion for Resolution 2017-06.
Okay, I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Gett. All right, sir, will you set this up for us?
Absolutely. Resolution 2017-06 is a non-binding inducement resolution that seeks to either integrate property located at the 1200 block of Duryea Street into the already existing Lacey Paps TIF district, also known as TIF 1, or to create a new TIF district for the purposes of the development of an apartment complex consisting of 36 multifamily upscale units with underbuilding secure parking. Should the board decide to approve this resolution, doing so will not guarantee the amount of project costs that will be allowable, if any, but rather is an indication of the intent and sense of the village at this time.
Thank you, trustee, for a good job in setting that up. Before we open it up for discussion, Mr. Fick, would you add anything?
So this is just the first step in the process of letting the developer move forward with kind of tracking some of his costs. It doesn't give approval to him in terms of building plans. There's still a process that would be public, which would require, input from the taxing bodies and everything in terms of the boundaries of the TIF and those types of things. So those details have yet to be finalized.
Okay, we're open for questions or discussion. Trustees? Anyone? Okay, I think we thoroughly discussed this in the departmental meetings, so Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Harn?
Aye.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Mariscal?
Aye.
Trustee Mariscal?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
And Trustee Carter?
Aye.
All right, thank you, and that motion passes. Okay, ordinance 2017-1509, an ordinance amending Title 4, Chapter 1, Section 11 of the Village Code of the Village of Peoria Heights for the purpose of modifying the number of available liquor licenses. Trustee Diane Mariscal, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve that.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 2017-1509, which would be for the purpose of modifying the number of available liquor licenses.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Harn. Okay, Diane, anything else you'd add?
Basically, this would be to increase our Class B liquor license